It was actually a rainy day here in Miami. Luckily, they have a roof at Marlins Park, and as we approach game time, the Reds and the Marlins safely under roof as Game 3 of this 4-game series is about to unfold. The Reds and the Miami Marlins here on Fox Sports Ohio. And hi, and a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome on this Saturday night to Reds baseball. Jim Kelch along with Chris Welsh. Reds try to make it 3 in a row down here against this Marlins club. They've done very well down here last year, trying to do the same this year. Chris, they're getting it turned around after that tough start after the All-Star break with the thing that really has been their go-to thing, starting pitching.
Well, it has been all year long, and it will continue to be the backbone of this ball club because as long as the Reds can run out these 5 starters, there is no weak link in the chain, and it's simple as that. You go back 7 ball games, and these 5 guys together have gone 4-2. They've pitched more innings than any other starting staff in baseball. They've given up fewer hits. Their earned run average is the best in the league. Their batting average against is the best in the league, and they've thrown 2 shutouts. So that's one reason why these guys combined are 4-2 over the last week.
We get Homer Bailey on the mound tonight. This guy has been unbelievable his last 5 starts.
The last 5 starts, and including those starts, 2 starts against the Milwaukee Brewers. That's a pretty good hitting ball club that he simply shut down. You throw in the shutout that he had against San Francisco. That's the only win he's had those 5 starts. Earned run average at even 2.0. He is getting better and better as the season goes on. History tells you that Homer Bailey is at his best in the month of September, but he's getting better here as he goes through the month by month. There you see the numbers.
All right, his mound opponent tonight, a right-hander Nathan Eovaldi, who's really gone the other direction as Bailey has.
Well, he has. I mean, you see, he started out early in the year. He's 0-3 right now with an earned run average over 6, but he's a guy with a power arm. It seems like these Marlins bring out guys that are throwing 95 and 96 every time you turn around, and Eovaldi is one of those guys, too. What he does not have is a changeup to get hitters off that fastball. He throws mostly fastball slider, and we'll see what he features here tonight. Matching with a couple of Texans on the mound here tonight.
Game 3 of a 4-game series at Marlins Park. The Reds and the Marlins, and yes, indeed, 7s are wild. Jim Day explains when we come back. Brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Well, we mentioned sevens are wild here at the ballpark tonight. We mentioned Jim Day will have more on that, and indeed he will. Let's go down to the field and our man.
Mr. Kelch, thank you very much. Sevens indeed wild tonight. We've seen the versatility of not only Ramon Santiago's in the starting lineup tonight, but mainly Brian Pena has been really a godsend for this team. Playing first, playing behind the plate, obviously catching Cueto, and he comes in tonight riding a 7-game hitting streak, 375 over that span, couple of doubles, couple of runs driven in. His career high is 9 games. And speaking of 7, how about the Reds against the Marlins? It has been some type of streak against this team. It's part of our Elk and Elk storylines, brought to you by Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio. Reds versus the Marlins, last 7 games. They've won them all, and they've out-hit them and out-pitched them. Scored 20 more runs, better batting average, and a much lower ERA. We shall see if Homer Bailey and the boys who put 5 on the board last night can come through offensively once again. It would guarantee the Reds of taking this series at least 3 out of 4. Angling for 8. That's what the Reds are doing. They hope to, at least next. Stay with us on Fox Sports Ohio.
Of this Marlins franchise after all those years playing down at the football field where the Dolphins call home. We are just about ready for game time. Brian Price lineup card for this evening's contest looks like this, brought to you by Meyer. Hamilton, Bruce, and Frazier at the top. Mesoraco, Pena, and Skip Schumacher getting the start in left field. You can see the career numbers that he has put up against Florida/Miami, the Marlins. 7-hole is Ramon Santiago, then Zach Cozart, and the right-hander Homer Bailey. This Reds lineup will face, for the first time ever, right-hander Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi is 24 years old. He was originally drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers, but he's another one of these strong-arm right-handers that the Marlins seem to find a way to get into their starting rotation. We've seen him already in this 3-game series. And Eovaldi is just one of those guys who's going to average his fastball around 95, 96 miles an hour. The big thing for him this year, his record is 5-6, but he really ought to have some probably more wins than that. His control has gotten a lot better. He used to walk about 3.5 batters every 9 innings. He's down fewer than 2, so he's better around the plate, but he's given up more hits, and we'll see if Eovaldi can fool the Reds with a combination of fastball slider here tonight.
Well, things have not gone overly well for him since the All-Star break. 0-2 with an ERA pushing 10. He makes start number 23. Billy Hamilton steps in to lead things off, and we are underway from Miami, Florida.
First pitch, 97. That's like a guy you bring out of the bullpen.
We mentioned yesterday that the Marlins place Henderson Alvarez, who's easily been their best pitcher this year, on the DL, so they're going to need Eovaldi to step it up if they are to stay in the race in either the NL East or the wild card picture, as Hamilton tries to bunt his way on and is retired. Take a look at the Marlins defensively behind Eovaldi, brought to you by your Ford dealers. They line up like this: Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton from left to right. McGee, Echevarria, Valdespin, and Jones third to first. Eovaldi caught tonight by Jeff Mathis, who of course was behind the plate on Thursday night and involved in that play at the plate that had everybody in Major League Baseball talking later that night and all day on Friday. Here's Jay Bruce, back in the lineup for the second straight day after being on the bereavement list for 3 days due to the passing of his grandfather. His grandfather was 94 years old. Carter Stanford, a World War II veteran. He found out, did Jay, after the long 15-inning game on Monday, that his grandfather had passed away. To Garrett Jones, who will feed Eovaldi. 2 out.
2 outs, 2 ground balls. The first one a bunt by Billy Hamilton. I am as much for bunting by Billy Hamilton as probably anybody who watches Reds baseball. But you know, when you've got the third baseman playing in as shallow as they do Hamilton in his first at bat, they essentially take it away from the left side of the infield. He's got to figure out a way to lay that bunt down over in first base. Cause some confusion between the first baseman and the pitcher. I don't think that Hamilton understands how difficult that play is for first baseman and pitchers to get together on with his speed. Third baseman, that just has to be a very mediocre play to get him out if he over bunts the ball and gets it too hard.
Well, Eovaldi has set down the first 2. He tries for a 1-2-3 inning. Todd Frazier at the dish. Tom Kohler did it on Thursday night against the Reds in the first. Jared Cosart last night. Reds have not had a base runner in inning number 1 yet in this series. In fact, they've had only 1 base runner through the first 3 innings of the first 2 games of this series. And they've won them both.
Is this radar gun right? I mean, is this kid actually throwing 99? 100? A starter in the first inning?
All the reports about Nathan Eovaldi say he throws hard, but not 97
well, I mean,
to 100.
He's been averaging 95 and 96 with his fastball.
Well, he's pumped up and ready for action tonight.
Boy, is that nasty.
If you're Eovaldi, you're wondering where that thing missed. Frazier in the air to right. Stanton is there. And a 1-2-3 first turned in by the native of Alvin, Texas, Nathan Eovaldi. 1/2 inning complete. Bailey to the mound. No score.
Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
A beautiful overhead look of Marlins Park here in Miami. It sits on the site of the old Orange Bowl in Little Havana. There's the manager of the Marlins, Mike Redmond. His second full year with his club. His team lost 100 last year. This year they're 3 under at 53 and 56. Here's his lineup for tonight's game, brought to you by Meyer. Yelich, Valdez, Speen, and Stanton, the top 3. McGee, Garrett Jones, who has a couple of career home runs against Bailey, in the 5 spot. Then Ozuna, Echevarria, Mathis, and Eovaldi against Homer Bailey, making start number 22.
Homer Bailey sitting on an 8-5 record already. He got off to a very bad start. That earned run average you see right there hovering at 4.0 is about at the low point of the year for Bailey, and it's been a long climb to get it down there. 111 strikeouts and 131 innings. Little by little, Homer Bailey is getting better and better as the season goes on. And one of the things that Homer has done better this year than in other years is get more ground balls. 53% ground balls compared to fly balls for Homer, and that's a career high.
Well, he gets Yelich, Valdez, Speen, and Stanton here in the bottom of the first.
Somewhere Dick Pohl is sitting back watching a Reds game and smiling. He was a pitching coach for the Reds years ago when Homer Bailey was breaking in, brought over with Dusty Baker, and he was always trying to tell Homer, use that pitch right there that he just used, that little sinking fastball. And at the time, Homer wanted to powder river that 4-seamer in there, but little by little he realizes now the advantage of keeping that ball around the knees and not extending yourself 100% with every delivery.
I guess that's the maturation from being a thrower to a pitcher, right? At least part of it.
Yeah, well, we've seen that really with Johnny Cueto, where Cueto, he works at 91, 92, and then when he hits that second gear, when he gets in trouble and needs something extra, all of a sudden you see 3 blistering fastballs at 96, and the hitters aren't used to that. And I think Homer has got the same idea. His delivery is repeatable, and he's getting better and better, and he's pitched very well in his career against the Marlins.
And he comes in at 2-1 with a 2.68 ERA lifetime against the Marlins in 6 career starts, and a very good start we were talking about down here last year in mid-May. In that game he went the distance, allowed 2 runs and 6 hits with 10 strikeouts in a 6-2 Reds win. Wins lately have been hard to come by for Homer.
You know, when you start looking at career numbers of a pitcher like Homer Bailey against the Marlins, you can throw those early years right out the window. Same with Matt Latos last night against the Marlins when he was a member of the Padres. I mean, this Marlins team has changed over about 100%. And so you're not pitching against the same guys, and you're not the same pitcher now that he was when he broke in.
2-2 to Yelich, misses just low and outside, and so Homer goes full to the leadoff man.
Homer throwing 95. So really what we have here tonight are 2 of the hardest throwing right-handed pitchers in the National League. Eovaldi ranked 2nd, Bailey ranked 5th. That is an average velocity on the fastball.
Now, there's 4 years difference in the two. Eovaldi 24, Bailey at 28, but they grew up in the vicinity of Houston. Alvin, Texas, the home of Nolan Ryan, is where Eovaldi hails, and Bailey, of course, from LaGrange.
So you're saying there's something in the water?
I'm saying maybe at some point they may have played against each other, although they probably missed each other at 4 years.
Yeah, I think they missed each other from their age difference, but Eovaldi, interesting that he not only from that area, but went to the same high school as Nolan Ryan.
Got it. Had to throw a lot of pitches to do so, but a strikeout looking of Yelich gets Bailey's first inning going.
Yeah, Yelich was bending over to take off his little ankle protector right there because he thought it was ball 4 when he heard himself get rung up. That's a little backdoor slider, a very touchy pitch to throw, but that's goes to show you what kind of confidence Homer has in that pitch to be able to thread the needle and get a strikeout looking.
Now, the Reds have done a good job of keeping Yelich off the bases. He came in as one of the top leadoff men in terms of on-base percentage in the National League. He's only had one hit in this series thus far. Here now is their second baseman, Jordany Valdespin. 14th game with the big league club this year. .268 average, couple of home runs. He's driven in 5 in the series, 2 hits plus a walk. Couple of lefties here at the top of the order. One lefty in the middle, Garrett Jones. So 3 of the 9 will hit from the left side against Bailey. .282 is what lefties hit against Homer. .239. Turn him around from the right side. And he misses there for ball 3. Talked about wins have been hard to come by for Homer. He's only had 1 win since the 8th of June, covering 8 starts. That victory came out in San Francisco on his complete game shutout out there. 3-1. Last time out, 8 innings with a 1-run, 5-hit baseball against the Diamondbacks in that 15-inning game this past Monday at Great American Ballpark. On the ground to the second baseman, and Santiago will make the play. Take a look at the Reds defensively, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Schumacher is out in left field tonight. Hamilton in center. Bruce is in right. On the infield, Frazier, Cozart, Santiago, Pena. Bailey caught by Devin Mesoraco. Brian Price asked in his media meeting today about all the different looks that he has put out there this year in terms of defense, in terms of batting order. In fact, tonight, the 87th different batting order that the Reds have used in this, the 110th game. He said in a game like tonight, particularly against a guy that they've never really faced before, Nathan Eovaldi, you can watch all the video they won against him. He kind of goes by his gut feeling, the type of pitches that the opponent, in this case Eovaldi, will throw, and who he feels matches up well against them. When you look at the Reds lineup, only Schumacher has faced Eovaldi before. Two out, nobody on for Stanton. Drives this ball to right field. Hit pretty well off the top of the wall. Stanton going for 2. He slowed down coming around first, but he will get in there with a 2-out double. He thought he had a home run in his 4th consecutive game, and he darn near did.
Boy, going the other way, it takes a big man to hit one out of here, and you're looking at one right there in Mike Stanton. He hits it well, and then he admires right there because he thinks he's got a long way to go and it's not coming back. But as it turns out, the ball just dives and it hits off the wall, and Homer Bailey now has got a chance to get out of this inning with nothing, even after giving up a shot like that. Hang with him.
That ball hit just below that green pad that marks the top of the fence. 26th double of the year for Giancarlo Stanton. He was trying to tie a career best. He hit 4 homers in 4 games a couple of years ago, back in 2011. Trying to equal that here tonight, and they thought that he did right there.
Well, when he doesn't hit him, he gets on base. He's been pretty good at that. And the guy at the plate right now, and Casey McGee, has been very adept at driving him in.
Homer is falling behind. He fell behind Valdespin. Now he falls behind McGee. Casey McGee at .360 is the top hitter in the National League with runners in scoring position. His RBI total on the year, 59. To right field, but foul. 2 balls and a strike. Told you about McGee, the former Fresno State player. Came up with the Cubs, claimed off waivers by the Brewers. And really, it's where he made his name around Major League Baseball. Had some very good years with the Brewers. His stock fell when he went to Pittsburgh and ultimately the Yankees 2 years ago. Went over to Japan, put up very good numbers, got his confidence back, and done a nice job as the free agent signee down here with the Marlins. In this series, he's 2 out of 5. He's drawn 3 walks. Those numbers for Stanton and McGee, those are RBIs at home this year. High-pitch walk to McGee from Homer Bailey. After getting the first 2, the next 2 have reached.
I wouldn't worry about that at all. I mean, here you get, those 2 guys that are on base are the 2 best run producers the Marlins have. So if you don't have to throw and go right after McGee with a runner at second base, if you've got a base open, don't feel good about him, go ahead and put him on base. Go after a guy that you've seen before in Garrett Jones. Bronson Arroyo used to do that a lot. He used to have these situational bases on balls that weren't exactly intentional walks, but they were like pitch around walks, and he didn't mind doing it because he had such confidence in getting the next guy that's why he would go after him.
Now here now is Garrett Jones with 2 on and 2 men out. Jones lifetime a .308 hitter with a couple of home runs against Bailey. On the season, 11 home runs. It marks the 6th straight year for Jones that he's reached double figures in home runs. Very pitch efficient first inning for the Marlins right-hander Eovaldi with 10 pitches. Not so here in the first for Bailey. It was already thrown 25. Probably ideally what he'd like to see in 2 innings. Hard into left field. Schumacher comes on. He makes the play, and through all that, 27 pitches, Bailey hangs a 0 in the bottom of the first. TV National League Central Division standings. Reds trying to stay prevalent in this race. Start the day 5.5 out. Gained ground on the Cardinals yesterday, who lost in St. Louis. They are 2.5 behind St. Louis, 5.5 now behind that first place Milwaukee club. The Brewers have already taken an early 1-0 lead in the first inning at Busch Stadium tonight. Pittsburgh won at Arizona last night 9-4. Reds trying to push their mark to 2 games above 500 if they can get a W here tonight. Mesoraco to the plate to start inning number 2. Devin held hitless last night, 0 for 3. Walk, scored a run in that 3-run 6th inning. And he blasts this ball on one hop to his left. Echevarria throws from his knees and gets Mesoraco at first base. That thing was ticketed to left center field for a single. Echevarria made a terrific play and robs Mesoraco of a hit. That's from his knees.
You just wonder if Ozzie Smith snuck into the Marlins clubhouse and decided to play shortstop tonight. That's the kind of play that Ozzie made time and time again. And Echevarria, we've already seen him make a couple of very dandy defensive plays here in this series, and Mesoraco probably just cannot believe it.
Well, the Reds left home and saw a real exhibition out of their former player, Didi Gregorius, at short. Now you come down here and you see Echevarria do a lot of the same things.
Hope those guys can pick it.
So the leadoff man is out. Here's Brian Pena, one of the 7s that we were talking about earlier. Brings a 7-game hitting streak into this one. And hit the ball to the 7 position. It's caught by Yelich. 2 out. Looking back, Thursday the Reds went down the first 8 before getting a base runner against Tom Kohler and a hit by Cueto. Last night the first 9 were retired by Jared Cosart. And tonight the first 5 so far. Here's Schumacher. Got the start at second base last night, hitless in 3, did have a sacrifice fly. 0 for 4 in this series, really has labored since the break. Schumacher comes into this game only 3 hits in his last 30 at bats. And he's quickly down 2 strikes. Nathan Eovaldi, like last night's starter Jared Cosart, a trading deadline guy on this Marlins team. His was a couple of years ago. He came over from the Dodgers to Miami in the Hanley Ramirez deal. Towards center, and that one eludes the glove of the shortstop Echevarria, and Schumacher has himself a hit. So the first time in this series the Reds have a base runner before the 3rd.
Now he gets jammed pretty good right there. Schumacher does, but you know, when you're a hard-throwing pitcher like Eovaldi, you're going to give up those share of little jam shots because you're trying to come in there with the hard fastball. You get in there and they just don't hit it hard enough into the outfield for your guys to get it. Good break for Schumacher. Maybe that'll give him a little confidence to get him going.
So Eovaldi goes to the stretch for the first time. Ramon Santiago getting the start at second base this evening, batting out of the number 7 spot. First start for him down here in this series. He did get into the game on Thursday. Actually, he got into the game last night, went in to play third base late in the game. Not that we suspect Schumacher's going to do any running here, but Eovaldi's only allowed 1 stolen base this year. Chopper toward the middle. Echeverria steps on the bag, and the inning is over. Reds get their first base runner, but we're in the middle of the second of a scoreless game. .com's head-to-head challenge app. You and your opponent each select 4 different players, and the person with the most points at the end of each game wins. Head-to-head challenge is free to play, so download today. No score, bottom of the second. Marcell Ozuna comes in at 267. 1 hit, 7 at bats in this series, leads things off. Falls behind 3-0. Homer threw 27 pitches in the first inning and was behind most of the hitters he faced, and now he falls behind here, 3 balls and no strikes. Gets one in there to Ozuna. Misses for ball 4, so a 5-pitch walk. That almost looked like Bailey either slipped or was trying to guide that thing over the outside corner. Didn't get what he wanted.
I'm really not sure why he seems to be picking at the corner so much early in this ball game. He's got plenty good stuff, and you hate, especially when you get down the bottom half of the order, to start walking guys that are free swingers like Ozuna. I mean, he'll pretty much hack at about anything, and when you get yourself in a situation where he can begin to shrink the strike zone like a 3-1 count, that's when you run yourself into a bad situation. Just go right after him with that 95-mile-an-hour heater. That's the one that got you here.
Here's Echeverria, and the first pitch in there for a called strike.
That's eventually what he got Garrett Jones out on a 2-1 count to end the first inning, after kind of missing and messing around with all the breaking stuff.
Pena holds the runner at first. Blocked there by Mesoraco. Reds, of course, would love the double play ball here. They've turned 3 in this series. Echeverria has hit into 9 this year. toward the mound. Bailey gets it. Cozart. Pena out. The call at first base. A little slow developing there, but a 1-6-3 erases both Ozuna and Echeverria.
Well, very close at first base. Bailey does a nice job of spearing it. Throws it a little bit on the shortstop side of the bag, but it was a nice turn by Cozart. And they quickly in the Marlins dugout went back and they had their video man review it. Rob Leary, the bench coach, went to pick the phone up, and evidently there's not enough for Mike Redmond to want to make a challenge.
If that's the best angle they had, I would agree. So the Reds turn the double play. Bailey back to the windup for the catcher, Jeff Mathis. Mathis makes his second start of this series. Checks in at 192 with a couple of home runs. Chance for Bruce. Jay back and to the spot. Makes the catch. So thanks to the double play, 3 batters and out go the Marlins in the second. Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, visit goldstarpins.org. Game from Marlins Park here in Miami moves to inning number 3. Each team has a hit. No one has dented the plate as of yet. The right-hander Nathan Eovaldi back to work. He gave up a 2-out single to Schumacher in the second. Was able to get Santiago hit into a force play to end that inning, and so Cozart will lead things off. The Milwaukee St. Louis game, Cardinals get 2 in the bottom of the first, and now they've taken a 2-1 lead over Milwaukee. They've actually fallen a half game behind the Pirates. As I mentioned, won at Arizona last night, and in doing so placed Paul Goldschmidt on the disabled list of the Diamondbacks. He was hit by a pitch on his left hand. X-ray showed fracture, so he's on the DL. Cozart to lead things off here in the Reds' third. Cozart, Bailey, and Hamilton here in the Reds' third. Back in the series, 1 out of 8. Another one that really hasn't gotten on track yet since the break. He only has 3 hits in his last 36 ABs. We'll get a look here at a 2-2 pitch from Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi is how he spells his last name. You see it right there on the back of his jersey. And he strikes out. That's a foul tip. First strikeout for Eovaldi. Comes here to start inning number 3. That will be Homer Bailey. Chris, the Reds made a little bit of a move today. Nothing that if you're not really looking you would notice. Certainly doesn't affect this big league club right now. But the former Red from earlier this year, Nick Christiani, designated for assignment by Cincinnati.
Well, that means he was taken out of the 40-man roster, and that's what you've got to do. It's kind of a procedural move. You're not sure what Nick is going to do, whether he'll be, reinstated back on the Louisville team as a non-40-man roster player or elect to be a free agent somewhere. Maybe another team could pick him up. Designated for assignment a few days ago was the player that the Reds picked up, and the reason that they made the move with Christiani is they wanted to make room for Jake Elmore. 5'9", 185-pounder who's 27 years old. He plays around the infield, second, short, third. Can play a little bit of outfield, but the Reds are thin at the top of their food chain as far as infielders that are on their 40-man roster. So they think that Elmore, who was designated for assignment on July the 31st by the Oakland A's, of course, they made a trade. They needed to clear up some roster spots for all the pitchers that they were bringing in. So Elmore was taken off their 40. And the Reds decided to pick him up and make a deal.
Elmore's been in the big leagues with both the Diamondbacks and the Astros, and was playing at the AAA level this year for Sacramento in the Oakland organization, where he was hitting .282, and as Chris mentioned, he will report to the Louisville club. Homer draws a walk on a 3-2 pitch. He thought the 3-1 may have been ball 4, but it was called a strike by Tom Woodring. This one called ball 4, and so walk number 1 by Eovaldi goes to his counterpart Bailey.
Just mentioning early in the ball game that Elmore has, Eovaldi has gotten much better this year as far as his control. And here he goes out and he walks the opposing pitcher. That'll make the pitching coaches scratch their heads a little bit.
Top of the order now, and in Billy Hamilton, who tried to bunt his way on to get this game started. Finds himself now, does Billy in the hole, 0-2. Looking at the rookie numbers in the National League before the game today, Billy just dominates at every category offensively. There's really no one from an offensive standpoint, and even really from a pitching standpoint, that has shined at all other than Hamilton in the National League as a rookie. He strikes out here, so he's 0 for 2 in this game.
They got him on a slider. Really, the 2-pitch combination that Eovaldi has is the fastball slider. He does throw a curveball rarely, and even more rare is that time that he'll end up throwing a changeup, maybe only 6-7 times in a whole ball game.
Here's Bruce now with a runner aboard and 2 men out. Jay returned to the Reds lineup last night, 1 for 4. Bounced out to the right side. First baseman Jones to the pitcher Eovaldi, covering back in the first tonight. He shoots it the other way, but out there to make the play is Yelich. Bruce is 0 for 2. Reds finished here in the top of the third.
players that makes his home in Miami in the offseason. I went to interview him about it when, lo and behold, someone grabbed the mic and did the interview for me.
Hey, tell me a little bit about it. How's it being back home here in Miami? You know, it's kind of like playing a home game for you.
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing that when you have the opportunity to see your family, especially your mom and your brothers and sisters. You know, I think it's great to spend time with them. It surprised me that you're the one who's doing this interview for to me. But I'm glad. I'm very happy that a German is the one that is talking to a Cuban in the United States of America. That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Brian.
And that was the German-raised Donald Lutz doing the interview. The only thing better, guys, if Lutz would have dropped some German on him, and then Pena would have answered in Spanish, and then most of us would have been confused.
How about that? Donald Lutz looking ahead, thinking, well, maybe in 10 years or so, my playing days are over. I might want to stay in the game and work with a microphone. He gets to come home and see that new baby as well. Born not that long ago. Nathan Eovaldi at the plate with a 1-ball, 2-strike count against Homer Bailey here in the bottom of the third. And there's strike 3 call. Strikeout number 2 for Homer Bailey. Fans follow every Reds game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store or visit Reds.com today. Top of the order, and Christian Yelich, and he shoots one down the left field line. That's fair, and headed toward the corner. Schumacher over to cut it off. Yelich had only had 1 hit so far in this series, gets his second here. A 1-out double, his 15th 2-base hit of the year.
We've talked a little bit about Christian Yelich. He's only 22 years old, and I really think you're going to hear a lot about him in years to come. They feel like he will not be a leadoff hitter for long, because he does have some power. Here he sprays the ball down the left field line and easily makes it into second base.
So hit number 2 for the Marlins, like hit number 1 is a double. Gives Jordy Valdespin an opportunity. Scoreless game. We're in the bottom of the third. Chris saw you going over to the home TV booth and visiting with a former Red over there tonight.
Well, Jeff Conine is the former Red you talk about. He's in the front office here with the Marlins. He also dresses out in spring training, sometimes here when the Marlins are at home. He's been away on a long leave of absence and just got back. There he is right in the center, Jeff Conine.
He's Mr. Marlin, really,
well,
isn't
he took some time off with his daughter to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, wow.
And for a guy that has run in the real Ironman competition, the one in Hawaii where you have to qualify for, he said that trip that he took climbing Mount Kilimanjaro was the most stressful athletically and endurance wise of anything that he's ever done. But he wouldn't trade it for a minute.
Wow. He ran into R.A. Dickey when he was climbing the mountain. Ball inside here to Valdespin. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now, Conine's a good guy, and I know that in the short period of time that he was with the Reds, he had his influence went beyond what he did on the field, what he did in the clubhouse, and what he showed some of those players as far as leadership and what it takes to be a champion-style ball player. Boy, you just can't get enough of a guy like Jeff Conine. He's Mr. Marlin around here.
His last year as a player was 07. There's a base hit into center field by Valdespin. That will chase the runner to the plate and score. Yelich touches the dish. Marlins have jumped in front 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. That ball slicing away from the center fielder Billy Hamilton.
Both the hits in this inning are by left-handers who've taken the ball the other way. That's just a little buggy whip swing by Valdespin. And even though Hamilton gets to it quickly and unloads a really good throw, Yelich is too quick. Valdespin did not go to second base on that throw that went all the way to the plate. And now the trouble part of the order.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Missed a home run by about 2 feet his first time. Homered here on Thursday night to left, way up into the seats out there. Homered again last night in the 8th inning, again to left. Leads the league with coming into this game with 26.
If I'm not mistaken, all the home run pitches that he has hit has been fastballs. And the one that he nearly took out of the yard going out the back door against Homer Bailey off the wall was also a fastball. Jonathan Broxton was the victim last night. And he hit an 0-1 fastball in the first inning off of Cueto. Good slider there.
Taking over the league lead in home runs, as we mentioned, has been at the top of the RBI list for a while. Slugging percentage #2. Extra base hits, he's tied for 3rd. He has a laundry list of offensive categories in which he is at the top or near the top. Here's what he did on Thursday night and Friday night. This first one Thursday against Johnny Cueto, ended up bouncing into the Reds bullpen area. Then late in the game last night against Jonathan Broxton.
If you saw anything in common right there, it was where those two pitches were. A little bit above the belt, inner third. That's the spot to stay away from if you're Homer Bailey. Just pound that bottom of the zone down and away with a slider, or if you are going to go up around the chin, and they're going to go up with this fastball. Ooh. He didn't like where he threw that pitch. He got away with it because he had a little extra something on it. But if you think that was a good call, come right back and throw it again.
Stanton has a real chance this year of surpassing his home run and RBI totals, best of which came in 2012 when he hit 37 home runs. 2011 he drove in 87. This year 26 and 74. And he's finally really, if you count as intentional walks, respect as a hitter, finally getting that respect. Last year 425 at bats, he drew 5 intentional walks. This year he leads the big leagues with 18. Toward the mound, Bailey, and he'll throw Stanton out at first base. Got him out in front there. Valdespin to second, and now Casey McGee with a runner in scoring position and 2 out has the opportunity for the Marlins. McGee drew a walk his first time. As a team, and we talked about McGee leading the National League with a .360 average with runners in scoring position. As a team, the Marlins have done pretty well as well in the top third at .255.
Well, what's really impressive about that, and I'm one of those guys who does believe that hitters, of course, better hitters are going to be higher batting average with runners in scoring position, but some guys just seem to be able to be better in situations like this. I mean, after all, if you're going to give a pitcher credit for being better with runners on base, why can't you give hitters the same credit? And McGee this year, that's the batting average with runners in scoring position. But the key for me is when he bats with runners in scoring position with 2 out in this situation right here. And he's batting .351. So he doesn't get himself out on pitchers' pitches for the most part.
To right field, Bruce chasing. Jay will get to the spot right at the edge of the warning track. Hit hard by McGee, but caught by Bruce. The Marlins settle for 1. .com. Get the latest news and notes from Bengals camp. Learn about the new contributors category at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And the UC Bearcats were picked to win the AAC by the media preseason poll. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive safe, spend less. 3 innings complete here at Marlins Park. 1-0 in favor of Miami. They have 3 hits. The Reds have 1. Frazier leads things off here in the 4th against the right-hander Eovaldi, who's walked 1, struck out 2. Gave up a 2-out single to Schumacher in the 2nd. And a 1-out walk to Bailey in the 3rd. Caught way out in front of that off-speed pitch.
Well, way out in front, because when you've got a guy out there dialing it up around 99 and 100 miles an hour, you got to start your bat a little bit earlier. So when he pulls the string and throws a slider, it makes you look awfully bad. There's the pitch range for Eovaldi.
Triple digits on that fastball tonight. McGee charges and throws, and Frazier is retired. He's 0 for 2. Finale of this series comes up here tomorrow. It's an afternoon game. It'll start at 1:10. And the right-hander who was scheduled to throw last night for the Marlins, Jacob Turner, will throw tomorrow night. Turner is 4-6. He's going to replace Henderson Alvarez, who's been placed on the disabled list for Miami with tendonitis in his right shoulder. He has been far and away their best pitcher this year. That's a big blow for them.
Yeah, you're right. Well, they've had 2 big blows, obviously, in their starting rotation with Jose Fernandez, who was, you know, he's on the short list of Cy Young Award candidates coming out of spring training, figuring with his stuff and his pedigree and so on. Well, he's lost to Tommy John surgery.
Bat stays fair. Ball goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Mesoraco found out early on that Echeverria can handle a hot shot baseball down there at shortstop, and now he's wondering, can you catch a bat head too?
Runs clear, steers clear of that. New lumber for Mesoraco. Make sure you're ready for Reds baseball 30 minutes before the start of every game. That's with Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing, right here on your exclusive home of Reds baseball, Fox Sports Ohio. Coming away tomorrow beginning at 12:30. Jeff Pecoro and Brian Giesenslaw back in the studios in downtown Cincinnati. And how about our boys going to be in Cleveland Monday and Tuesday for the series there against the Indians? Studio crew will travel north to Progressive Field and set up there.
That'd be nice to have them kind of
Sure
on the road but at home. I know they've been dying to get on the road. So look out, Cleveland. I hope you've notified all the appropriate authorities.
I am in the process of doing so. Yeah, they'll be working the post game tomorrow, and then when that is complete, heading north to Cleveland.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed with the arms that you've seen so far in this series. You know, you've got Eovaldi throwing 100 miles an hour. The first night's pitcher, Tom Kohler, averaged 94. Last night's pitcher, Jared Kosar, pitching for the first time for the Marlins, he averages 95 on his fastball. Then you had, Alvarez in there, and then Fernandez, who should be back next year with no problem from that elbow surgery that he's had. And, if you're the Washington Nationals or the Philadelphia Phillies or the Atlanta Braves, you've got to take note of what this Marlins team is building down here.
Well, they took a lot of heat a couple of years ago when they first acquired all those big name players and then traded them away a year later. But what they've been able to get in return has starting to show some real progress for them.
It's a great at bat right there. A couple of teaser pitches just off the plate, and you don't go for them.
Second walk by Eovaldi, third base runner for the Reds. First pitch swinging Pena. The chance for Ozuna, the center fielder. Easily makes that play. 2 out.
Well, your first pitch swinging right there. Pena likes to do that because he likes to hit the fastball, and that is the most often time that you're going to get a first pitch fastball, especially against a guy that's going to go out there and challenge you. Just got under it a little bit.
Oh, a 2 out chance here for Skip Schumacher. So we're talking about tomorrow afternoon, the 1:10 game. It'll be Jacob Turner at 4-6 against Mike Leake, trying to even his record. He is 8-9, coming off a very fine outing against the Diamondbacks. His last time out, that was last Tuesday after 2 subpar outings since the break. He picked up victory number 8 on Tuesday night in that 3-0 Reds win. He'll be working here tomorrow on the 1:10 affair. Question is, will the Reds be going for the sweep of the series or the win in the series? That's one of the things they're doing here tonight.
Well, we want to say hello to a big-time Reds fan, and his buddy Bob down here works for Marlins TV. Wanted to say hey to Lance Litvack up in Dayton. Watches every one of our broadcasts, pulling hard for the Reds, even though he's good friends with his buddy Bob. And hope you're feeling well. And I know you're sitting down in that man cave up there in Dayton. Maybe he's right there in the Hal McCoy man cave.
A lot of man caves around when it comes to sports. You probably got one in your place.
We've seen a lot of Reds fans down here. I mean, there's a lot of people have come down for this series alone just to watch the Reds play. Of course, coming down to visit South Beach at the same time.
Schumacher offered at that one in the dirt. He strikes out. Number 3 for Nathan Eovaldi. We'll play to the bottom of the 4th of a 1-0 game. August the 10th, when your Cincinnati Reds take on these Miami Marlins. Stick around then after the game and enjoy a post-game faith concert featuring Grammy-winning band Mercy Me, presented by Prasco. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to reds.com/tickets. That's a big, big day, Sunday, August the 10th. Post-game faith concert featuring Grammy-winning band Mercy Me, presented by Prasco. This game into the bottom of the 4th. Good pitching on both sides of the ledger in terms of runs scored. Bailey comes into this game with, from a pitch efficiency standpoint, not nearly as efficient as Eovaldi so far in the game. Homer has thrown 54 pitches, Eovaldi 56, but he has one more innings worth of work under his belt thus far. Garrett Jones lined out to left his first time, leads things off. Jones, then Ozuna, then Echeverria. Chris, we talked late in the game last night, a little bit in the post game, about your post game plans last night. We cannot go any further without getting an update from Liv.
You know, when you go out clubbing
like you did
in South Beach, it's a late night. I mean, I went to a place called the Liv.
The Liv, okay.
I think it's called Liv or the Liv. L-I-V, I think that's the way you pronounce it. You're selected to get in. You stand in line, and the head bouncer goes around and he points to you and you and you, and he lets you in. That gives you the opportunity to pay $60 to a cover charge to get in and hear a DJ.
$60 per person.
For guys and $40 for girls.
Okay.
So I took my wife Beth.
So you dropped $100 without even doing a thing.
Yeah, yeah. And we were lucky. We were, you know, we went over and talked to him ahead of time. So he picked us early to get in, and it was very enjoyable. I can hear in my head still.
Thump, thump, boom, 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 boom. But an enjoyable time. Huh?
It was fun. It was
good
fun.
for you.
Not something I'd want to do every night. Certainly wouldn't want to do it before a day game tomorrow.
But if you were pushed, you might.
It was one of those places. They tell me that all the big time celebrities show up.
Really?
Yeah. That, you know, during the season, you'll see the Heat in there, and you'll see some Dolphins. You'll see some visiting ball players from time to time. You'll see a lot of, you know, hip hop artists in there.
Well, last night was a weekend night, a Friday night. Who did you see in there?
I didn't see anybody I recognized. A lot of people who looked at me thought I may be their great uncle.
Saying, what are you doing in here?
There weren't too many gray hairs in there.
If you're over 30, you're suspect, huh?
I was definitely suspect, but it was a lot of fun.
Man, we're glad you had a good time.
Yeah. Next time, maybe I'll bring you next year.
Yeah, so maybe, or
I think you should start a little,
maybe not,
like a fish jar, and you start putting some pennies in that fish jar. And by the time next year rolls around, we'll have that cover charge taken care of.
I think we've discussed the fact that I would have zero interest in going to that dance club.
Maybe I can find a sponsor. Maybe Uncle Marty will sponsor you.
Rumor had it that Marty was in there last night.
Rumor also has it if he was in there, he was lost.
Yes, he was sleepwalking.
The good news is I didn't see any of the Reds players in there. And I can tell you when I left, and it was about 20 until 2 in the morning, that there was a long line of people waiting to get in. They couldn't wait for me to leave to create space.
That's a foul ball called by the home plate umpire, Tom Woodring. I'm interested in what you were talking about where you said they come along and pick you. There's no rhyme, no reason. Like if you get there first and in line, that doesn't mean anything.
No, you could be standing at first in line for 4 hours and never get in.
It's just a random choice by the man at the door. You had greased his palm, no doubt, so you got picked.
Well, we talked to him ahead of time.
Said, look, we've got to get to bed by 1 o'clock, so can we get in early and get out?
You know those replica rings they gave away in New York when the Yankees played? It was a giveaway. I think 20,000. Well, you know, that looks awful real.
I can just see you wearing that thing. In the air by Ozuna. Bruce and Hamilton. Billy will call for this ball and make the catch. And so after Jones grounds out, Ozuna flies out. 2 down for Echeverria. Echeverria bounced into the 1-6-3 double play ball back in the second. Bailey trying to have his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Reds will be headed to Cleveland after the game tomorrow, and I know recently they announced they will be unveiling a statue of Jim Thome outside Progressive Field. I did not know that. Congratulations to him. The only other statue there is that of the great Bob Feller. Thome, who is a 600+ home run man in his career, played a long time there with the Tribe. He will be honored with a statue. In fact, I think that statue unveiling was today. Check on that to be sure. Quite an honor from a fellow from Peoria, Illinois. Frazier cuts his ball off in front of the shortstop Cozart and throws out Echeverria. Chris, was this you last night as you went into the club? Is that why you got picked?
Looking style, looking good.
How about that?
Don't know how they picked me to get in though.
Sports Ohio. Who needs South Beach when they bring South Beach to the ballpark? I'm inside the Clevelander out here in left field, and only in Miami would you get a nightclub in the ballpark, complete with DJ, dancers, and you got to have a pool in Miami, don't you? Chris Welsh, I got permission from the bosses. You can take a couple innings off. This pool has your name written all over it.
The Clevelander. Now, see, that's a great nightclub out there. And here you elected to surpass the Clevelander and go to Live.
Well, Jim Day's got it going on though, doesn't he?
He does.
I mean, what a job. Gets to hang out in the dugout well right next to the dugout, or the camera well down there. Gets to hang out in the Clevelander when we're there. Maybe when we're in Phoenix, he heads out to the pool. Thinking about sliding down Bernie's slide in Milwaukee.
In San Diego, he rolled up his pant legs and walked barefoot in the sand. Scared some youngsters half to death out there. Yeah, he's got it going. Now, he didn't have the microphone in his hand. He's walking around in that outfit at the Clevelander. That wouldn't go over very well, would it? That look is not the nightclub look.
No, that's he ought to come to me. I'll get him a new jacket.
Like the one you had on. I know you have one that is prominently green like that as well.
And permanently banned.
Yes. That one would. That may be the last time that one's ever shown.
Probably
also.
so.
You're a man of the people. There's no question about that.
The late nighters.
Those jackets, as I recall, were bought at Haight-Ashbury, weren't they?
They were indeed.
$5 a piece. That's a good deal.
Not that good.
Santiago, a strikeout victim. That's the first out here in inning number 5. We told you that Nathan Eovaldi had not been pitching very well, but you wouldn't know it by what we're seeing tonight.
You know, he had given up at least 5 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts. But anytime a guy has the kind of arm that he does, he's capable of coming out and then shutting you down as long as he has control of that breaking ball. And, you know, he's done that. His fastball, you know, as we've mentioned, is anywhere between 97 and 100 miles an hour.
He's given the Reds just 1 hit in this game. That was a Schumacher single back in the 2nd. Ironic, because he came into this game having given up 143 hits in 136 innings. Those 143 hits, the 5th most in the National League. Toward right, Stanton chasing into foul ground. He makes the play. Ozark is out number 2. And we'll see tomorrow night for the Reds, Mike Leake. Unfortunately, at the top of that list, he's given up a league worst 154 hits. And here's one of the reasons why he's not been winning. 1 run of support or less in each of his last 5 starts. Bailey toward right, cut off by the diving Garrett Jones, who feeds Eovaldi. And that's a 1-2-3-5 turned in by the right-hander, his 2nd perfect frame of the night. By the JTM Food Group. Let's create great dishes together. By Toyota. For over 30 Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. And go for the save on Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs with specially priced wings all day. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Keep sending us those tweets using your photo, using hashtag #OhioFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game. That's our AT&T fan photo of the game, brought to you by AT&T. We'll have one a little bit later on in tonight's game. Homer Bailey has allowed 1 run, 3 hits. He's walked 2. He has struck out 1. He had a 1-2-3-4. But that 1 run in the 3rd, the only run of the game thus far. He'll get 8, 9, and 1. Mathis, the pitcher spot, and then Yelich. Bailey had 67 pitches through 4. Remember, he threw 27 in the first inning. So over the next 3, 40 pitches, which is more the way he likes it in terms of average number of pitches per inning. That's under 15. Mathis flied to right his first time. Bruce has a beat on this ball, and he makes the play for out number 1. Homer's closing in, and he won't reach it tonight, obviously, but he's closing in on 1,000 innings pitched in his career. He came into tonight at 984 2/3. He gets through this inning, he'll be at 989. So you figure it'll take him probably into a 3rd start. Maybe if he goes very deep into this one and the next, he could get to 1,000. When he gets there, he'll be the 43rd pitcher in Reds history to get to 1,000 innings pitched. And he's quickly ahead here, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. Reminder that as you enjoy tonight's game, we look forward to bringing you our Miller Time moment of the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. How many innings did you get in your career as a Red, Chris?
You know, I can't remember. Not very many.
In your overall career, how about? Did you get to 1,000?
No.
Minor league and major league combined,
Probably so,
you
yeah.
got to 1,000. All of Homer's numbers have come with the Reds organization.
And he's liable to have a lot more going down the line. Obviously signed for a long-term deal, I think through 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
6-year deal. Well, you had a 1 in front of yours with the Reds. 139, I'm pretty sure Josh Hall tells us. 139.
Well,
500 plus.
He's
with
quick
your
on the
career.
computer.
Bailey at 2-1 to Yelich. Homer trying to equal or better what he did his last time out down here at Marlins Park. We talked about that early on. A complete game, 2-run, 6-hit victory in a 6-2 win over the Marlins last May. So far in this game, he's allowed a run on 3 as he works here in the 5th inning with 2 out. Third walk given up by Homer. Snaps a stretch of 7 in a row set down by the right-hander. Yelich on for the 2nd time. That'll be Jordy Valdespin. Valdespin hit it hard out into left center field his last time up, driving home Yelich, who had doubled. That's the game's only run thus far. This ballpark, Marlins Park, we talked about earlier, in its 3rd year of existence. Opened in 2012. That was the same year that the Marlins changed their name from the Florida Marlins to the Miami Marlins. Cozart will handle this pop-up off the bat of Valdespin. That puts an end to the Marlins half of the 5th inning. Up come the Reds now in the 6th. Still down 1-0. Holy Grail. It's your chance to answer Reds trivia, win great prizes, and maybe a part of our Reds Live post-game show. Join us Friday at 6 and be part of the fun. I'm Jim Day. A very special happy birthday going out on this day to one of my favorite people on earth, Donzetta Nuxall, the wife of the late Joe Nuxall, turns 86 today. Donzetta from Fox Sports Ohio, we love you and happy birthday. Brandon Phillips also wishes you happy birthday, and he wants to give you some sunflower seeds for your birthday present. Billy Hamilton steps in. Also, we'd like to give a belated happy birthday to Marita Cherry of Greensburg, Indiana. Turned 90 yesterday. Lucille Meadows of Germantown, Ohio, 93 this past Tuesday. And also celebrating a very special birthday today, Lloyd T. Wilson of Bedford, Kentucky. Lloyd turns 100 years of age today, guys. God bless you, Lloyd, and thanks for being a Reds fan.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, and happy birthday to all those folks. And, you know, Jim, I thought that the only person who threw sunflower seeds at you was Matt Latos. So with Phillips doing it, that must mean he's getting a little bit bored down there.
He is getting a little bit bored down here. He's usually used to playing, and he was very excited. He thought that one of those sunflower seeds went in my mouth as I was doing the report, but it did not. Sorry to disappoint you there, BP.
Even if it did, you would carry on because that's the kind of pro you are.
I would have tried. Might have coughed that bad boy up, but he came close.
Hamilton trying to get it started here for the Reds in inning number 6. So far, he's bunted his way out in the first and struck out in the third. So he's now 2 for 10 in this series. He, like many of these Reds, have had a tough time getting started offensively after the break.
Well, a lot of them have had a tough time. Of course, the Reds had dropped 10 of the first 12 after the All-Star break, mainly because the offense just went completely silent. The odd thing is, you look at the pitchers that dealt against the Reds are not exactly household names. I may run some names by you and see if you can figure out what they have in common. David Phelps, Brandon McCarthy, Jimmy Nelson, Tanner Roark, Doug Fister, Chase Anderson, Tom Kohler, and now Nathan Eovaldi.
Most of them, unless you're really involved in day-to-day life of baseball, you'd never know who they are.
Yeah, and I left out the, you know, Kyle Loesch and guys like that, Willie Peralta.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the Reds are facing some young pitchers that are getting very aggressive against this ball club. Coming right after him, Eovaldi has been very aggressive, throwing a lot of strikes, feeling better and better. That's a curveball to go along with the slider. And he's just getting it going. You know, the one thing you keep in mind with Eovaldi, though, when you see him, and the trend that he has had all year long, not just his last few starts, but all year long, that his first 75 pitches, he's pretty good, lights out. From there, the third time through the order, that's when that batting average against jumps up. The on-base percentage goes way up, so does the OPS overall. And so maybe the Reds, through a little bit of familiarity, will figure out, you know, his release point, maybe his sequences a little bit, and can see him better.
Well, this inning, starting with Hamilton, is the start of the third go-round of the batting order. Also is Eovaldi being over 75 pitches at 79 now. So we'll see how it shakes out. Again, going the other way is Jay Bruce, and closing on that ball at the last moment was Yelich. It looked like he may have had that thing go into the lights and lost it for a moment. Refound it right near the top of the grass, and Bruce is retired.
Looks like he almost hesitated on purpose right here to keep the ball out of the lights. We saw him make a very nice diving grab last night, and the ball that went into the gap. Said it early on that the Marlins feel like they've got one of the more athletic outfields in baseball out there, especially when you're talking about Yelich and Ozuna.
So with 2 out, it's Frazier. He's flat out grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Reds down 1-0. The lone run of the game occurring in the bottom of the third. 1-out double by Yelich. RBI single by Valdespin. To the shortstop, Echeverria. Good pick and throw, and they got him at first. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings turned in by Nathan Eovaldi, who's now set down 8 in a row and 11 of the last 12. The Cleveland Indians, that's coming up August 6th and the 7th at Great American Ballpark. Wednesday the 6th, the first 25,000 fans will receive a Jay Bruce bobblehead presented by the Ohio Lottery. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to reds.com/tickets. Jay Bruce bobblehead, up and coming. Well, Homer Bailey asked here to keep it a 1-0 game as he goes back to the mound in the bottom of the 6th inning. Milwaukee gave up to Yelich in the 5th, snapped a streak of 8 in a row that he had retired. Now he gets Giancarlo Stanton to lead off here in the home 6th. Stanton doubled to right, tapped one back to the mound. He homered in the 9th inning here on Wednesday against the Nationals. He homered in the 1st inning on Thursday. He homered in the 8th inning last night, so he's homered in 3 straight games for the 8th time in his career.
How about the look he just gave Homer Bailey after Bailey kind of hung that slider and he took a massive swing and came up empty.
Jammed here and pops it up, and Santiago will handle it. Stanton keeps bat in hand all the way down the line, and he is out number 1.
Just goes to show you that hitters swing at what they see. They don't swing the radar gun. And you show them a breaking ball first, and then you get the fastball, and you get a little bit on the inner part of the plate. And Homer throws hard. I mean, he's mid-90s right now, 94, 95 with that fastball. And he's just a hair behind, and he kind of jams himself on it because the last thing he saw was that breaking pitch. That's why pitchers are always trying to change speeds or changing locations or trying to make the hitter adjust with the eyes. Cover the entire strike zone, 17 inches across and all the way from the bottom of the knees to the top of the zone.
Bailey gets the best of Stanton for the 2nd time in 3 tries tonight. Now deals with Casey McGee. Had a chance to add to the 1-0 lead in the 3rd. He lined one hard to Bruce. Took Jay to the warning track to haul it in. Walked his first time. To the right side, Santiago gets there, and McGee is retired. He's 0 for 2 tonight, 2 for 7 in the series. So we were talking about earlier, Homer has done tremendous work over the course of his last 5 starts, but look at that run support on the bottom.
We talked about that with Nathan Eovaldi not getting much in the way of run support his last few times out. Homer just like that, and here he is in a 1-0 ball game. But there were a lot more 1-0 ball games this year than ever before. I mean, there's no doubt offense is way down. Hitting is down. You can call it the shift. You can call it the cutters that pitchers are throwing. Maybe more changeups, better scouting. The elimination of PEDs that helped hitters probably more than they help pitchers.
Reds have been involved in 7 1-run games, 1-0 games this year. 1-2 lost 5. The last time pitchers were this dominant for a long period of time, they lowered the mound, didn't they? That was back, what, in the late 60s, early 70s?
I'm not so sure that it's that dominant that they're going to make a major change like that.
That was over a longer period of time.
Right. But it certainly probably has changed the way organizations begin to scout and develop players. We've talked a lot about the shift. You know, and the shift is affected mostly left-handed hitters who don't run very well. Because every time they put the ball on the ground, it's normally on the right side of the infield, and you're hitting at the 3 infielders that are sitting over there, and there's no room anymore. So now, instead of scouting a big, burly left-handed hitter that can't run, maybe you're going to scout somebody who sprays the ball a little bit more.
breathtaking moment on MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. How about tonight's IGS Bringing the Energy feature? It's this man, Nathan Eovaldi, the Marlins starter. He has had, look at that number, 58 pitches tonight, over 95 miles an hour. 58 of the 83 that he has thrown over 95 miles an hour. Our IGS Bringing the Energy. Bringing the energy and bringing the heat. Reds try to get it going here in the 7th. Let's see if it holds true what Chris was talking about earlier. After 75 pitches, Eovaldi seems to break down a little bit. Mesoraco's grounded out and walked. Robbed of a hit his first time up by Echeverria. A ball smoked to the shortstop's left. Got it, spun around, and from his knees threw Mesoraco out at first. 8 in a row set down by Eovaldi in 11 of the last 12. This one in the air to right for Stanton. Well, the first down.
We are certainly not the only ones that know that stat about Eovaldi and about how the third time through the order, and that coincides with about 75 pitches. The batting average goes up, but people get on base more. You see him a little bit more. You feel more comfortable, and so on. You got to figure Mike Redmond's is, fingers are kind of getting near that phone to the bullpen, just in case. Being a 1-0 ball game, they are desperate to win one of these ball games. They have not lost ground really in the National League East the last couple of days because the teams ahead of them have also lost. So they remain 6 games out the same way they were when the Reds rolled into town a couple of days ago.
Braves have lost 4 in a row. Nationals have lost their last 2. So Miami stays where they were, 6 back.
So, but what you're asking though is, or you're wondering as a team, is that, well, how long can we just lose and not gain games? I mean, when your teams ahead of you are losing 2 games in a row and 4 games in a row, I mean, those are the times in which you need to start gaining ground. And the same for the Reds. Of course, the Reds are in a little different boat because they've got more teams ahead of them.
Toward left field for Yelich. 2 fly balls, 2 outs here in the 7th. And now 10 in a row set down by Eovaldi. Eovaldi's had a couple of pretty good starts this year, the most recent coming on the 9th of July at Arizona. 7 innings, he threw only 90 pitches, allowed a run on 4 hits. Unfortunately for him, the Marlins lost that game.
I'll tell you, if this kid ever learns to throw a changeup, I mean, his breaking stuff right now is off the charts.
3 pitches and out on Schumacher, the only Red who's had a hit in this game. And that is now 11 in a row by the right-hander. Miller Lite. Let's go back, 6 years, a little more than 6 years. Ken Griffey Jr. here in Miami, not at this ballpark, but at the old ballpark. That was home run number 600 on the 9th of June, 2008. He would hit 30 more in his career. His family down there watching. His son, now a collegiate football player. Leads us right into the Reds Hall of Fame weekend and the induction ceremonies that will take place on Sunday, August the 10th. Junior, along with Ron Oster, Dave Parker, and the late Jake Beckley, will be inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame. The induction class of 2014, the induction gala, that's Sunday night. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. You remember that 600th home run?
I sure do.
Miami?
Yeah.
Or down here in Miami, not at this ballpark. And number 500 in St. Louis, number 600 here in Miami. I guess it was called, Joe Robbie back in those days. Could have been called Dolphin Stadium.
Sun Life.
Sun Life. It was Land Shark Stadium for a year as well.
Yeah, good trivia question.
I'm not even sure where she entered the field.
That is really one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
Yes, indeed.
That's just not right.
You got to wonder how and where she entered the field.
Well, somebody not doing a very good job of parenting. Obviously.
I mean, that young lady is here obviously with, you would guess, with her parents. And somehow she made her way onto the field and then is taken by security off the field. If I'm her, I'm scared as anything.
Well, maybe she just came a day early. You know, tomorrow, probably like at most stadiums, including Great American Ballpark, after the game, they allow fans, the kids anyway, to run around the bases. So let's just give her the benefit of the doubt that she just got the days of the week mixed up.
Well, she wouldn't know any better, but there's someone out there that knows better.
Agreed.
Echeverria bats now with one out. Pushes this bunt into the stands behind home plate. Ball and a strike. 25,000 tonight. 25,159. That marks the largest crowd of the series thus far. With one to go tomorrow afternoon at 1:10. Reds trying to make it 3 wins in a row. Have to come back to get it done here tonight. Marlins trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They lost 8 in a row earlier this year. That's their longest stretch. Most recently, they, like the Reds, had a tough go right after the break. They had lost 4 in a row going into the All-Star break and lost the first 2 after. Right on the heels of that 6-game losing streak, they reeled off 9 wins in 10 games. Cozart, and he gets his counterpart Echeverria. 2 men gone. That will be the catcher, Jeff Mathis. There's movement down in the Marlins bullpen, but nobody is throwing down there. All quiet in the Reds pen as well. Bailey due up 3rd in the 8th. 1-0 Marlins. Bailey here to Mathis, who's twice flied to Bruce and Wright. Scatters them down there in the Reds dugout. Most of these ballparks now have a railing.
I think Matt Latos is limping. That ball get him? Or did he hurt himself trying to get out of the way?
We know this. He's headed toward the clubhouse. Got him looking. Fastball for strikeout number 3. Check that number 4 for Homer Bailey. And we will go to the 8th. Still a 1-0 game. Honda game summary tonight. This is the bottom of the 3rd inning. A double with 1 out by Christian Yelich puts him on the bases, and then Valdespin hits this ball into left center field, plating Yelich, giving the Marlins a 1-0 lead. Other than that offense, it's been pitching by Bailey, pitching by Eovaldi. That has dominated. Each has struck out 5. Eovaldi has walked 2, Bailey 3. Both on top of their games as this one moves into the 8th. That's our Honda game summary. 1-0 Miami. That lone number under the Reds hit column came off the bat of Skip Schumacher in the 2nd inning with 2 men out. He singled into center. He was the first Reds base runner. They've had 2 others. Bailey walked in the 3rd. Mesoraco walked in the 4th. And that's been it. Reds now have Manny Parr. It's been a long time since he's been out there due to some back issues, throwing in the bullpen. Homer due up 3rd here in the 8th. Santiago hit into a force play and has struck out. He's 0 for 2.
Eovaldi has been so good about getting that first pitch in there for a strike. It's not like the Reds can do anything like work the count, because the last thing you want to do against a guy that throws 100 miles an hour is, take a couple of pitches and then be down 0-2.
Couple of pitchers up and throwing in the bullpen for the Marlins. Right-hander Morris, left-hander Dunn.
Yeah, they're not going to take any chances right now. They want to make sure. I think that if a runner reaches base, Eovaldi will be in the showers.
That will get out of play. Pushing 100 now in terms of pitches is Eovaldi. He's thrown 95. Comes into this 8th inning, having retired 11 in a row, 14 of the last 15. Since the walk to Mesoraco in the 4th inning. Cozart next, then the pitcher spot. Heisey is in the hole. He's got his batting helmet on, bat in hand on the dugout steps. Into right, sinking fast, base hit. Santiago, only the second Reds hit. Breaks a streak of 11 in a row retired by Eovaldi, and that is the tying run to start the 8th.
And just as we thought, there's some movement down the dugout now. Will Mike Redman go get him here with the bottom of the order up is the question.
They'll give that bullpen of Dunn and Morris a little bit more time as Mathis and the entire infield now converge on the hill.
Well, everybody has seen it. When you're 6 outs away, this is when you can play out for out matchups that you want. You had your starting pitcher take you exactly where you needed to in the ball game. You're looking at what Eovaldi has done against Cozart. Cozart has struck out and he has hit a fly ball to right field.
Here comes Mike Redman. Bought a little bit more time. At 99 pitches, it looks like Eovaldi has thrown his last. He's gone as high as 113 this year. And the skipper of the Marlins takes the baseball from Eovaldi, who should get a heck of a round of applause as he exits here at Marlins Park. Marlins make a pitching change here in the top. Photos to us using hashtag #OhioFanPhoto. Here now is tonight's fan photo of the game, brought to you by AT&T. Dwayne. Nice photo there. A little washed out, but maybe a little sun on that photo as well. Good job done by Nathan Eovaldi tonight. 7 innings, no runs so far, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts for Eovaldi. He throws 99 pitches. He leaves the game for Brian Morris. against Cozart with the leadoff man on for the Reds.
Well, I'm not so sure Garrett Jones was ready for that. He was playing first base about 3 steps in from the bag. That ball nearly sailed over his head. Well, there was a time, man, it wasn't all that long ago that it would be unheard of to take a starter out of a game in the 8th inning right around 100 pitches. He's given up 2 hits and no runs, and he's facing the bottom of the order. Because every time you go to the bullpen, now we're in the days of matchups and specialization, and guys are making a lot of money to be setup men and so on. But anytime you go to the bullpen, there is a certain amount of uncertainty that comes along with bringing that guy in.
Well, it was Morris who was on the mound on Thursday night when all the activity broke out in this ballpark. Cozart bunts it out in front of the plate. Hopped on by Mathis. He'll throw on to first. Cozart executes the sacrifice bunt that goes 2-3 for out number 1 and moves Cozart into scoring position, marking the first Red to reach second in this game. And now Hanahan is announced for Bailey.
So really, if you're Mike Redmond, you're thinking, all right, what matchup do I want? I've got a left-hander down the bullpen in Mike Dunn, hard-throwing left-hander. Do I want to bring him in and then have Brian Price counter with Chris Heisey? Or do I like this matchup right here of Brian Morris against Hanahan, who has essentially been on the disabled list the entire year, has not had all that many at-bats. So I think they're going to stick with righty against lefty.
Morris hitting lefties hitting .226 against Morris this year. Hanahan bats. He's still looking for his first hit of the season. Right-handers hitting .288. Pardon me, .241 against Dunn. Those are the numbers that these guys are looking at. Jack on the year is 0 for 8. Just activated some, well, I guess tomorrow will be 1 week ago. After having off-season right shoulder surgery last October. Santiago the tying run at second with 1 out. Billy Hamilton on deck. Hanahan, after swinging and missing, takes a strike and he's down 0-2. That one at 97 misses outside.
I mean, I guess on this Marlins staff, if you're not dialing it up to 96, they don't even take a look at you.
He blows Hanahan away on 4 pitches. Strikeout number 7 for Marlins pitching in the second out of the inning.
Well, about the pitch-by-pitch look or relook at this at-bat. Jack Hanahan comes in and sees the first pitch. Looks like a cutter. And then from there on, it's essentially the heat right there. Sinking fastball. This last pitch had a lot of hair on it. Man, did that have a lot of movement for a pitcher who was thrown at 97. I'll tell you, the more I see this radar gun down here, the more I'm wondering, can it really be right? Does everybody out of this Marlins rotation and pen, are they all throwing 96 and 97?
Was that thought going through your mind both Thursday and Friday as well?
Not only my mind, but Reds hitters' minds as well.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, unless they're changing it for our pitchers, because Bailey is about where he has been. Latos was where he always is, and same with Cueto.
Hamilton has dropped under 300 with the runners in scoring position as of late. He's at 298. He has a big chance right here with Santiago at second and 2 out. Now he's down 2 strikes. Billy did not face Morris on Thursday. It was Morris who gave up the fly ball to right field by Frazier, which led to the controversy at home plate over the blocking of the plate by Mathis, and then subsequently the 2-run single into center field by Ryan Ludwig. He's out there now in relief of Nathan Eovaldi. Homer Bailey, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. Not only another quality start for him, but another ultra quality start. 7 innings and 1 run. He can still be the winner if the Reds can get a couple of runs here. Two and 2. Talked about Bailey's ERA over the last 5 at 2. That will go down tonight with the 1 run in 7. Into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Here comes Santiago. Here comes a throw from Yelich. Safe the call, and the game is tied at 1 as Billy Hamilton comes through with a clutch single into left field. Here comes Mike Redmond, the manager of the Marlins, again out of the dugout. Can you believe it? Another tight play at the plate.
Yeah, tight play at the plate, and this is exactly the type of play that if you're allowed to block the plate, Jeff Mathis would probably have prevented Ramon Santiago from ever getting his foot on that plate. Yelich the throw to the plate, but you see he's giving him plenty of room right there. And the throw does not beat the runner. He is safe. There's no doubt about that he's safe. But this is a play that in the old days, you'd see that catcher with his left leg right in front of the plate saying, you're not getting in here. And man, oh man, Mike Redmond has got to be thinking something's got to be done with that rule.
You know, you look at that play, Chris, and he was not blocking the plate, talking about Mathis like he did the other night, but you also have to wonder, was he too far back? He could have taken a step or two toward third.
I think you're right about that. I think that he may have been a little bit too far back, maybe trying to read the throw.
Santiago got in there. Hamilton went to second on the throw. He now is the go-ahead run. Bailey is off the hook for a loss in this game. Reds avoid being shut out. Santiago scores the tying run. Nathan Eovaldi, no W for him tonight, despite a great effort. He ends up giving up 1 run, 2 hits in 7 innings. And Brian Morris, who was charged with that blown save on Thursday, charged with another one here tonight. Here's what we're talking about now with that play at the plate regarding Mathis. Look where he is. Seems like he could have been up more into the batter's box area.
You're probably right. A little swipe tag may have gotten him a little bit earlier. But you got to figure that Mathis has been so sensitive now,
no
based
doubt,
on what happened the other night, that his main objective right there was probably to make sure that he gave a lane to the runner and didn't block the plate. And he's probably thinking, man, maybe I didn't do that right.
No, I agree with you. It all of a sudden becomes a play that you really have to think about and try to look at where you are instead of just an instinctual play for those guys who've been catching for many a year. Frazier now, after Bruce draws the intentional walk, has the opportunity here in the top of the 8th to give the Reds the lead. Manny Parr continues to throw in the Reds bullpen. Eovaldi will not be the winner. Bailey will not be the loser. Reds get another one here. Bailey could get the victory. Way up there off the bat of Frazier, and foul and out of play. Todd tonight 0 for 3. Both these starting pitchers tonight, just excellent work. Homer had a tough first inning, 27 pitches, but after that he settled right into this thing. Frazier strikes out. Reds leave 2, but they get 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th. New game. 1-1 the score.
Homer Bailey gets our Cholula flamethrower of the night, 95-mile-an-hour fastball that he finished off the catcher Jeff Mathis with to end the 7th inning. Outstanding effort tonight by Homer Bailey. 5 strikeouts. He struggled only in the first inning. The Marlins got that run in the 3rd when they pieced together a double and then a base hit into shallow left field to score Yelich. The only scoring of this ball game until the Reds just pushed one across. So now Manny Parr comes in, game number 40 overall for Parr. He's been pretty much on the shelf recently. Reds have said that he's had a sore back that has kept him from being able to be on the mound, but here he is now on the mound as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, it's really been 2 weeks since he's worked. He worked on the 20th of July. That was the final game of the series against the Yankees, going 2/3 of an inning, allowing 2 hits. It has not worked since then. And Brian Price, asked about it, has said that he's had some back issues which have hopefully alleviated themselves with treatment from the training room. And so here he is following Homer Bailey to the mound. Homer 99 pitches, 1 run, 3 hits in 7 innings. This is a bullpen game now. Morris' spot the pitcher due up. Donovan Solano, the other half of the 2-player tandem, along with the second baseman Valdespin, whom we have not seen in this series until now. Donovan Solano pinch hits here for Brian Morris. Steve Cishek is throwing, their closer, in the bullpen for the Marlins. Another one we have not seen yet. He's done a very good job for them.
How would you lose him Going in the 9th inning, you don't usually see that closer. Reds are hoping not to see him anyway, but he'll be coming in here at home. You usually see that happen in the 9th inning on.
Solano hitting .261 with a homer. He's driven in 12. 4 for 26 as a pinch hitter this year.
Well, Parra is in this ball game because after the number 9 spot is done, Donovan Solano, the pinch hitter, will be the only right-hander that he faces if he goes through a 1-2-3 inning. Yelich is left-handed. Valdespin is left-handed.
After falling behind 2-0, it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Swing and a miss. Nice job of coming from behind by the left-hander Parra. He gets the leadoff man Solano on strikes.
Ended up getting him on a breaking ball. It looked like maybe that was a changeup. That was a changeup by Manny Parra. Good arm action. Look at the diving action of that pitch as it dives down and away from Solano.
Jumbo Diaz now throwing in the Reds bullpen. If this inning were to get to Stanton, it would be Jumbo would be on the mound to face him. Parra now against Yelich. He'll get a first pitch ground ball to the second baseman, and Santiago has it. So 2 up, 2 down. Reds in the 9th inning. Now the middle of the order: Mesoraco, Pena, Schumacher. One way or the other, it figures to be against Steve Cishek. Valdespin in this game drove in the lone Marlins run back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. One, 3, and 0. Both sides of the ledger here tonight. Reds have stranded 5, Marlins 4. Reds trying to make it 3 in a row down here. Marlins trying to snap a losing streak that sits at 3. First base side on the bunt. Parr's going to get it, but have no play. Placed it perfectly, did Jordy Valdespin, and the Marlins have the go-ahead run on with 2 out.
This is kind of what I've been talking about with Billy Hamilton. It's much more difficult for the first baseman and pitcher to get together on a ball on the right side than it is simply to allow the third baseman, who practices that play daily, make that play. And with the left-handers out of the way now, Yelich and now Valdespin both have been up in this inning. Brian Price will make a change.
Yeah, no way that Manny's going to face the right-hander Stanton, and so Brian Price takes the baseball. Manny leaves the game, and Jumbo Diaz, who has been throwing in the pen, will enter this one to face Giancarlo Stanton. Game, Fox Sports Ohio will break it down for you. The first one is to get the words out of the manager's mouth, Brian Price. Reds win. Interview down on the field with a Reds player. It's all part of Reds Live postgame, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Stanton due up now against Jumbo Diaz. This guy's had a homer in each of his last 3 games. Wednesday afternoon against the Nationals. This made it 4-2 in the 9th in favor of Washington as the Marlins mounted a comeback. Thursday night in the first inning against Cueto. Last night in the 8th inning against Jonathan Broxton. Here comes last night's. 3 days, 3 homers. For the 11th time in his career he's done that. One time in 2011 he hit a homer in 4 straight. Here he is against Jumbo Diaz with a runner aboard and 2 men out in the 8th. Jumbo appearing for the 15th time, 3.14 ERA after stellar work at AAA Louisville earlier this year, where he posted a 1.35 in 30 games down there. Just below the knees, 2-0.
Yeah, he's missed both times with sliders right here. And this is a little different situation for Jumbo Diaz. And you earn it by pitching as well as he has in the innings before Jonathan Broxton. But now when you come into a ball game tied in the 8th and you've got the most prodigious home run hitter in the league up there. A little different deal, and he goes right after him with 97 and blows it by him. The advantage here, though, you have to figure is for Diaz. Stanton has not seen him. If he has, it certainly hasn't been recently.
Came back with a pretty good breaking ball right there.
Well, he did, and after he threw a fastball for a strike and had enough hair on it at 97 that Stanton realized he's going to have to get that bat going early, and he commits way too soon, only to see that pitch dive out of the strike zone as a slider.
A big one coming here now from the rookie Diaz to the league's leading home run and RBI man Stanton. To the shortstop, Cozart, the long way to first, got him there, and the inning is over. Cozart put some air under that ball. Pena did a nice adjustment at first base. We'll go to the 9th, even at 1. On Fox Sports Ohio has been brought to you by Chevy. Visit your tri-state Chevy dealer today. And by Cincinnati Children's Hospital, who ranks 3rd in the country on U.S. News and World Report's 2014 Best Children's Hospitals. How about our John Merrill hot dog play of the game? It came Off the bat of Mesoraco and made here by Echevarria, diving to his left and spinning and throwing from his knees to get the Reds catcher. Heck of a play right there by Adeiny Echevarria. A John Merrill hot dog play of the game. This is a non-save situation in a 1-1 game, top of the 9th inning, but the Marlins turn, Chris, to their closer.
Well, he's a pretty good one, too. Steve Cishek is his name. He closed out 34 saves last year. He's got 27 to his name this year. He's been in 48 ball games. Boy, he has had a workload here the last couple of years. 68 in 2012 games, that is. 69 last year, and here he is appearing in game number 49 so far this year, and he's got a lot of the season left to go.
He gets the middle part of the order with Mesoraco leading things off out of the cleanup spot.
Now he's the one guy. It's kind of odd that the softest throwing reliever that they have is a guy that is your closer at the very end of the game. That is normally the guy that throws the hardest. But you can see that he would give right-handers fits. He starts, pitches out of the stretch, bent at the waist, and he never does really come upright. That ball, a very low release.
And what would you call that?
Coming from down around Laredo.
Bounces it to the right side for Valdespine.
You know, it's not really a submariner, and you could say that he's almost not that much of a sidearmer, because he does have a sidearm motion. Obviously, he lowers his arm angle, but he also bends quite a bit at the waist, which even accentuates it more. So when you're a right-handed hitter, that breaking ball that he throws you looks like it's going to hit you in the back, and then it breaks out over the plate.
Pena gets ahead 2-0. He's 0 for 3 tonight, trying to extend a 7-game hitting streak is Brian Pena. Big cut on the 2-0 fastball, fouled back. Cishek last worked on Tuesday against Washington in a 3-0 win. Picked up the save, his 27th. He has 3 blown saves on the year, and again, this is not a save situation. Pena shoots it hard into right field, and that's going to get over the head of Giancarlo Stanton. Pena chugging for 2. The throw, got him. Pena disagrees, and he'll get into the face of the second base umpire, Mike Winters. Brian Price will come out, and Brian will walk out there slowly. This will give Rob Coughlin a lot of time to take a look at some angles of this play, of which Pena was adamant that he was not tagged.
Well, the question is, though, do they have a bit of video that would back up Pena's position? We'll take a look what we have right now.
Hard to tell if he got him on the helmet there or not.
Well, you know, and it could be that Pena was running so hard that he may not even feel him if it was a very slight touch. I thought Pena was going to give the umpire a big old bear hug right here.
Anything better here? Hard to tell, isn't it? Reds will challenge this. Right there, it almost looked like he did not get it. Mike Winters, he was the home plate umpire on Thursday night with all the commotion.
He's been in the middle of a lot of it, Winters has. You know, we're looking at it here in our TV booth on monitors. They're only about 14 inches big. I know that there are some people at home with ultra high definition television sets, and they may be getting a better look at it than we are. They certainly have that type of technology in New York. Now they've stopped frame a shot here at the stadium, and Mike Winters got it right. They touched him on the helmet, and that's that.
So that'll go as a single for Pena, as that call is confirmed, meaning they had convincing evidence that backs the call on the field. That's Eovaldi taking that throw. Right there appears to get the helmet of Pena.
Effort by Echeverria, and also a great effort by Brian Pena. You cannot second guess Pena trying to get into second base right there. I mean, he was going as hard as he could, smelling an extra base hit that may change this ball game. Well, that was a very strong throw by Stanton. He was also, Stanton, remember, the outfielder that threw the ball into home plate the other night. That resulted in that controversial play with Jeff Mathis.
Boy, we've had Stanton involved in any number of plays. We've had Mathis involved in another play at the plate tonight.
And Mike Winters.
And Mike Winters has been involved in a lot of things, too, in this series. Schumacher into center field. That's a base hit. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, Cishek sure looks different against left-handers than he does right-handers. I mean, they come up there, they see the ball better. This is almost kind of like guided out there. He realized it was a breaking ball. He kind of almost slowed his bat down right there and just kind of flailed it into center.
2 hits in the inning for the Reds. Good to see Schumacher get a couple of hits tonight. He had been 3 for his last 30 coming into this game. 2 for 4 tonight. Had that call been overturned out at second base, Pena at the bare minimum would have been at third. With 2 men out, the Reds, and they are an aggressive bunch on the bases, may have elected to try to score Pena on that. Instead, Pena was ruled out, with the call confirmed from replay in New York after the challenge by Cincinnati. And now it's Santiago, who's 1 for 3 tonight. The runner at first, 2 gone. Right-handed LeCure, left-hander Chapman throwing in the Reds bullpen. Three and one.
Of course, Chapman, of course, if you get the lead, he'll only be in there to save the game. Sam LeCure will come in the event the Reds do not score and it goes tied.
Full count now to Santiago.
Boy, Ramon has made the best of his playing time.
He
did not get very much playing time at all in the first couple of months of the season. Really, the first 3 months of the season, it was very rare to see him in the lineup as a starter. He would come in sometimes in a double switch to play defense. But he's taken advantage recently of the playing time that he's had. He's delivered some big hits.
Trying to come up with a big one here. Take an extra base hit with a runner on the move, and strike 3 call. Ramon looked at it over the outside edge. Tom Woodring rings him up. Reds can only win this game in extra innings. Early for a special pregame ceremony honoring the Reds Hall of Fame class of 2014. That includes Ken Griffey Jr., Dave Parker, Ron Oster, and the late Jake Beckley. Plus, all fans in attendance will receive a free commemorative print thanks to P&G and Kroger. For tickets, 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to reds.com/tickets. Jumbo Diaz, who worked a one batter, Stanton in the bottom of the 8th, stays in to work the bottom of the 9th. He'll get McGee, then the lefty Jones, then Ozuna. 1-1 the score. Reds tied it with a run in the 8th after the Marlins had taken the lead with a run early in the game back in the 3rd.
Boy, Jumbo just dealing right now. First pitch slider, second pitch fastball, 97 on the black. Reds are playing a prevent defense only really in as much as having Todd Frazier on the line of third base. Everybody else is playing fairly normal. You know, you don't want to play so deep as an outfield that everything you hit into the outfield that doesn't carry the warning track falls in for a base hit. That's what some teams do, and they fall into that trap about not giving up a double. They end up giving up a single on a ball that would normally be caught very easily.
Comes at him there with a breaking ball. McGee flails away at it, does not get it. That's the first out of the bottom of the 9th.
Boy, that is nasty. Now, the Reds needed somebody very badly to step up at this spot in the bullpen. And look at the little grouping of where those sliders are. I mean, Casey McGee, where he's standing in the box with that swing, he doesn't hit that pitch with a boat oar.
Yeah, to a certain degree, Carlos Contreras, but in particular, Jumbo Diaz has done a terrific job since coming up from AAA Louisville. A young man who waited for all those years to get to the big leagues. Not only has it paid off for him, it's certainly paid off for the Reds. Diaz will go back behind the mound to rub up the baseball here. Just looking at his splits against right-handers, they're hitting 154 against him. Against left-handers, only 130. So he's done a nice job regardless of what side of the plate hitters come up there against him. Reds have now out-hit the Marlins 5-4 thanks to those 2 hits in the top of the 9th. But we're even at 1. Into right center. Bruce on the run. He'll cut it off and hold Garrett Jones to a 1-out single. That's the winning run for the Marlins. You've got right-handers through the bottom of the order for Miami. Starts with Marcell Ozuna. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Prone to the strikeout. He's fanned 121 times this year. 6th most in the National League. Reds pitchers tonight have 7 strikeouts. Jumbo Diaz comes into this game with 14 strikeouts in 14 1/3. Just low and out of the strike zone there. 2 balls and a strike. McGee struck out. Jones singled in the right center. Jones had his 8-game hitting streak ended last night. On base tonight with his first hit. Eovaldi waits on deck. Something off. Ozuna way out in front. 2-2. Earlier this week, the Reds went 15 in losing at home to the Diamondbacks. They can only win this game if they go extra innings. Got him on strikes. 122nd time this year that Ozuna has turned and headed back to the dugout via the strikeout.
Well, you know, for Jumbo Diaz, that fastball is one thing, but to be able to have control enough to throw that breaking ball, and the splitter, I think he's throwing also down in the zone. I mean, he has kept that breaking ball down at the knees or below.
Get a big out of Stanton to end the 8th. The go-ahead run at first and 2 out. Got 2 strikeouts here in this inning. Sandwiched in between a hit to right center by Garrett Jones, and now deals with a Danny Eovaldi, who's 0 for 3 in this one. 2 hits during the series. Bailey went 7, allowed a run on 3 hits. Manny Parra, a nice job in the 8th, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit. Diaz came on, retired Stanton. Now he's trying to send it to the 10th. Nathan Eovaldi of the Marlins, equal to the task put up by Homer Bailey. 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits for him. Brian Morris, a second blown save in this series when he gave up the base hit to Billy Hamilton in the 8th inning. Steve Cishek, 2 hits in the 9th, but did not allow a run. Now a ball and a strike to Eovaldi. The catcher Mathis next.
And Morris got that first blown save in this series when he came into a ball game with bases loaded, nobody out. Gave up a run.
There are those on the Marlins side, of course, that will say he got out of that. First the strikeout of Negron, and then what they thought at the time was a fly out, throw out, double play at the plate from Frazier. 2-1. With 2 out on any contact, Jones is going to be moving from first base. Mathis waiting on deck. Now Jumbo's falling behind 3-1. Now Garrett Jones will be on the move from first base. 3-2 with 2 out to Echeverria. Jumbo a little peek over there at first base. There goes Jones. Swing and a miss. Took something off. Echeverria way out in front. Diaz gets 3 strikeouts in the frame and a nice 1 1/3 innings worth of work for the big man. Extra innings. They are presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Well, this is a rarity, Chris. Steve Cishek to the mound for a second inning.
Well, you're right about that, but the Marlins, you know, they desperately want this ball game, and he has not pitched in a while, as you mentioned early on, and Cishek will consult his card and then go to pitching. I'm wondering what's on that card.
Kind of like the quarterback's play card. Only the 3rd time this year that Cishek has gone back to the mound for more than 1 inning's worth of work. He's worked 1 1/3 on 2 different occasions this year. The last time coming in late May here against Milwaukee. He threw 16 pitches in the 9th. And he gets Cozart here to start the 10th. Reds this year playing in their 10th extra inning game. They're 3-6. The Marlins 6-9 in extra inning games, 15 of them this year, the most in the National League. Cozart, then the pitcher spot. Heisey is on deck. And Hamilton representing the top of the order. So nice job done by Jumbo Diaz. An inning and a third. One hit, no run baseball. Cozart disposed of on 4 pitches for out number 1 in the 10th. Now Heisey is announced as the pinch hitter. Heisey bats for Jumbo Diaz. Chris starts the game at 224. 4 homers, 14 RBIs. Half those home runs, pinch hit home runs. 8 for 27 as a pinch hitter this year. And a pinch hit double in the 9th inning last night did Heisey. Scored a run. Started in the game in right field on Thursday. It's this one to right center field. He's going to get his second extra base pinch hit in 2 nights. That ball bounced away from Ozuna. Here goes Heisey to third. He will get there standing up. A fortuitous bounce indeed for the Reds off the wall. Ozuna did not pick it cleanly. Heisey read it perfectly. He's at third with 1 out in the 10th.
Well, that's the kind of play as a base runner. You make your own decision. You're not looking over a third base for help right here. This ball is tagged. I mean, it sounded so good coming off the bat. Going to the wall no matter what, but this bounce, as you said, looks like it hit a crease in that padding out there in right center field, and that gave Heisey the chance to get to third.
Out comes Mike Redmond. He signaled to his bullpen. The lefty Mike Dunn has been throwing, and the lefty Dunn will be brought in to face Billy Hamilton. Jay Bruce, another lefty, due up after him. So a pitching change. Dunn is in. Cishek is out. For the Marlins, Reds all of a sudden find themselves with an opportunity to take their first lead of this game. The runner at third, 1 out here in the 10th.
Yeah, I think that they brought Mike Dunn in right here, not necessarily to turn Billy Hamilton around right-handed, because I think if you scouted Hamilton, you'll know that he's naturally a right-hander. Did that before he batted left-handed. And recently, he's been much better right-handed than he has been left-handed. There you see the batting average. When he faces left-handed pitching, he turns around to the right side. They simply brought Dunn in because he's a hard thrower. And they want to elevate the fastball, try to get a strikeout right here out of Billy Hamilton. Of course, Hamilton wants that elevated fastball because that's the pitch he can loft into the outfield and pick up a go-ahead RBI with a sacrifice fly.
He's not as prone to the strikeout from this side, only basically 2 strikeouts every 10 times up, batting from the right side. Overall right-handed, 263, and as we were alluding to, over 370 in basically the last 2 months. Infield in with 1 out. Second triple of the year by Chris Heisey, and his 9th pinch hit of the year. Second in 2 nights here as the Reds in a golden opportunity. The runner at third, 1 out, to take the lead in the 10th inning. Foul tip, and now 0-2.
That's a big swing right there for Billy Hamilton. Now with 2 strikes, you've got to do something to protect the plate. Somehow you've got to put this ball in play right here.
Pitches, and down on strikes goes Billy Hamilton. Well, he did elevate that one somewhat.
Well, that's the idea. I mean, once you can get that count in your favor as a pitcher, and especially a guy that throws as hard as Mike does, you run that ball right up the ladder.
So now it's Bruce, the lefty-lefty matchup. Dunn against Jay Bruce. Jay this year hitting but 188 against left-handers. Dunn lifetime 1 for, I should say Bruce lifetime 1 for 6 against Dunn. That 1 hit being a double. Trying to get Heisey home from third with 2 out in the 10th. Stays alive with a foul ball.
Yeah, had a breaking pitch right there that Dunn probably got up in the zone a little bit more than he wanted to and got away with one.
1 out pinch hit triple by Heisey. Dunn came on, turned Hamilton around, struck him out. Bruce trying to get that go-ahead run home. Jay tonight is grounded out, lined out twice to left field. One of those, Yelich made a nice running grab to his left back in the 6th. Drew the intentional walk in the 8th. Down he goes on strike. Heck of a job by Mike Dunn. Gets Hamilton, gets Bruce. Tips. Follow Reds reporter Kevin Goheen from FoxSports.Ohio.com, on Twitter at FSO_K Goheen for the latest news and stories on your favorite team. Kevin Goheen from FoxSportsOhio.com. New pitcher on for the Reds is Sam LeCure. He becomes pitcher number 4 for Brian Price tonight. Bailey, Parra, Diaz, now LeCure. First 3 have all done very good work.
Boy, the Reds can pull this one out, it would be under the category of a team win, because Homer Bailey pitched so well. He kept the team in the game. They were able to salvage a run across to tie this baby up in the 8th inning. And now you turn it over to the bullpen. Good job so far by them, especially Jumbo Diaz, Manny Parra, and now Sam LeCure's chance.
Well, LeCure's 42nd appearance, a 3.23 earned run average. Reed Johnson is on deck. He'll bat for Dunn. So if the game goes to the 11th inning, the Marlins will need to employ a new pitcher. Mathis tonight is 0 for 3. Lined it by the third baseman Frazier, who is guarding the line to prevent a double. And now Schumacher bobbles the ball out in left field. That's going to put Mathis at second base and in scoring position with nobody out.
Well, Mathis is going to second base no matter what Schumacher does out there. This is the double all the way. The bobble by Schumacher really had nothing with Mathis taking that extra base. But how about that? Isn't that kind of ironic, though? You're playing so deep out there as an outfielder that you're preventing the double, but you get a double on a ball that would normally be hit and fielded by the third baseman. But because you got the third baseman on the bag to prevent a double, ball goes by him and still is a double.
Sixth hit of the game for the Marlins. 3 of them have been 2 base hits.
Reed Johnson has got to be bunting here.
Guy, one of the premier pinch hitters in the league, but he is indeed bunting toward the third base side of the mound. LeCure will get it and fire, and they just do get Johnson at first base. But Santiago taking the throw. Sacrifice goes 1-4. Winning run at third. Now the infield and outfield for the Reds will be in.
Well, the decision now for Brian Price is this. Do you load the bases right here and create a force play where you can turn a double play and get out of the inning and save the game, or do you rely on Sam LeCure to come in and try to get a strikeout right here? Because that's what you really need, either a strikeout or a ball hit on the infield grass right at one of your infielders. Managers never really like to load the bases because it puts so much pressure on the pitcher to throw a strike to that guy who comes up with the bases loaded. Of course, if you do load the bases, you look down that lineup, and it would be Yelich would go to second, Jordan Eovaldi spin at first, and Giancarlo Stanton would show up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Not an ideal spot.
Not at all. Reds go through their defensive signals here to make sure everybody knows what they're doing.
Well, you've got to make sure the outfield's shallow enough, and I'm not so sure that this guy right here is shallow enough to be able to throw a runner out at home on a fly ball to him. Now, he may be starting out there and getting that ball on the run, but he's playing deeper than any of the other outfielders. Jay Bruce, of course, has got a better arm than any other ones.
And he may be figuring that is the catcher Mathis at third base. Yelich in the game is 1 for 3. And starts him off with a breaking ball for strike 1.
Boy, good looking pitch right there.
Just missed with a fastball. LeCure appearing for the first time in this series. Last worked in the game on Monday against Arizona. 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit in that one. Now he falls behind 2-1. First squaring off ever here of LeCure against Yelich. Winning run at third base. 1 man out in the bottom of the 10th of a 1-1 game. Reds won the first 2 of this series. Jordy Valdespin on deck. Base hit. And the Marlins win it on a base hit by Yelich that plates Mathis. They snap their 3-game losing streak. Reds are back to the 500 mark. 55 up, 55 down. The final score in 10 tonight. The Marlins 2 and the Reds 1. Well, they will still have the opportunity to go for the series win here tomorrow afternoon in the 1:10 game.
Well, you're exactly right about that. And this is the ball game. You know, I got to tell you, this is a good game to watch. You know, you hate to see the Reds lose this game, but they only picked up 6 hits in all this ball game in 10 innings that they went to the plate. They only picked up 6 hits. They were throttled by the Marlins starter. They lose a tight one, a thriller here in Miami, and nothing else to do but to put it in your rear and show up tomorrow ready to go.
The game winner is our Nissan drive of the game off the bat of Christian Yelich, delivered by Sam LeCure. Here it is. Nothing cheap about that. Infield in, outfield in, whatever it might be. That's going to be a base hit anyway. There's Mathis, who had doubled and went to third on the sacrifice, who scores the game winner. Teammates throttle Christian Yelich. The Marlins a 2-1 winner. That's our Nissan drive of the game. Reds Live post game presented by Performance Kings Honda comes up when we return.